Hiya guys, good morning. Cheers. So the first thing I really wanted to say today, because I feel it's very important, is that we realize that we, you, me, are not this experience, not this body, not this trauma and this distortion and this all these emotional overwhelming, that is all this insanity and all this grief and all this sorrow and all this distortion that we experience. That is not who we are, or even the joy and the happiness and the triumphs. We are not that either. What we truly are is beyond all of this, right? Hence, I call it the sentinel, our true self, which is who and what we truly are. We're not human. We're not humans. We're not human beings. No, we're having this experience, right? We are here having this experience. But it is not what we are. We are something else. And I think in times like this, it's very important to remember that. Because what is happening to a lot of people is they're becoming entrenched, I feel. They're becoming lost in, in hope, hopium, belief, and following. Because those words, they keep popping up. They keep popping up everywhere. I believe, and I'm following, and I hope, and hope. We must have hope, and we must hope. Hope is nothing. Hope is nothing at all. It's a word that should be eradicated from the dictionary. Because hope is nothing. It never delivers. It's a state of being. Hope is a state of consciousness. It's dependency. It's a kind of vacuous expectation that something or someone will come and save you, or that something will happen that will make it all right again. It's not a positive thing. It has a very negative sort of energy to it, that word hope. And I would strike it from the dictionary. And whenever people use that word a lot, I tend to mistrust them, and I tend to think, well, you're not what you pretend to be. Politicians like the word a lot. They use it all the time. All the time. And, we can't trust politicians because they're full of shit. Obama used it a lot in his election campaign. Hope. Hope, 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 hope. And in my language, in Dutch, to do hope, means to have a shit. So that just about says it all, really. Right. Things I've noticed, just to just to talk about that a little bit, because I think, again, that's important as well. I don't know if any of you have noticed this, but as far as chemtrails are concerned, there haven't been any. And the skies have been actually really, really clear. And the air has smelled different and clearer. And there has been a sense of clearness overall. A sense of quiet. There's a lot less traffic. There's a lot less people about. There's a sense that whatever is going on, and you can go into YouTube, as you do, don't you? We do. And you tune into this and you tune into that. Personally, I sort of, cursorily check into things like the Corbett Report Extras. I go here, I go there, I'll check out loads of different things. Some people are so turgid and slow-witted and devoid of critical thinking, I'll just call it a day after about a minute. Other people have me going, yeah, okay, I resonate with that, don't resonate with that, and then nah, okay. It's always good to know the facts, as in provable things. This we know is happening because, right, it's right there. You can see it. It's happening. So that sort of shit is always good to tune into, and that is how you get the pulse and to stay in touch with other people that you know across the world, that can tell you what is happening in their neck of the woods. Reliable information. Oh shit. God. Dribble. But increasingly, I realised that one thing matters more than anything else, and that is the ability to be objective, which is just about the hardest thing for any human being to be, but very subjective. And a lot of people that haven't really done their inner work are driven by prejudices and by beliefs and by programming and all kinds of shit that runs their show, and they're not at all aware of it. I mean, a case in point is this conversation that I overheard when I was at Nivat. This is ages ago, but these two women were having a conversation, and Darwin came up, and this one was saying, yeah, because this and this and this and this and this. And I went up to her because I just felt like I had to, and I said, that it's called a theory of evolution. It's not saying it's a fact, and there's a lot of sort of information to suggest that Darwin was full of shit, and in fact I believe him to be full of shit anyway, but that's another story. And it just like, no. See, people haven't really... Most people don't know how to be objective. Most people don't know how to critically think or analyse anything. They just want somebody to come and rescue them, and they're terrified and they're afraid and they're panicking, and their behaviour is irrational, and they are irrational. Mass consciousness is fucking stupid. It's dumb. And there's a lot of people that are awakening, but you're not there yet. You still have a lot of work on yourself to do. See, awakening means going within and doing the work. It means literally descending into hell, like in that film with the late Robin Williams. What dreams may come. He has to go down into the depths, into the bowels of hell, to get his wife out, who's condemned herself to hell. Self-hate, right? Self-hate is what pins the butterfly to the wheel, people, and self-hate that goes unrecognised and unacknowledged is what will run your show. It is what will make you think that you can trust the powers that be. It's what will make you think that there actually is a coronavirus pandemic, that this is all real. It's what will make you think that you should have to work for a living, and that life and death and disease are natural, and that you have to accept that. And oh, isn't it wonderful to grow old and whatnot? Self-hate will make you blind, it will make you deaf, it will make you dumb, and it will totally suck the life out of you and totally disempower you in every imaginable way, but you won't know that and you won't see that. The more work you do, and working on yourself, always start with one thing: will. Intention, will and intention. It's to say, I am here. Somehow, on some level, I understand that I am broken and fucked up, and that I'm blind and that I'm deaf. But something, just something says, you need to get on this journey. You need to step onto this path now. It is your time to awaken. You will know this because it's something that you feel beyond the shadow of a doubt. It's like, time to awaken. Time to awaken. Yes. And at any given moment, from that point onwards, you can say, well, I've had enough and I don't want to do this anymore. And it will stop. You can do that. And people frequently do. And then they're just there. That's it. They stagnate there. Now, for me, despite everything, and believe me when I say that I've been through a shitload, some of you have, some of you really, really have, some of you think you have, but you haven't really. I mean, like 5 years ago I thought I'd been through shit, and I had, but when I look back now to that time, I think, wow, at that point you really hadn't seen anything yet. Jesus. So it's best not to know, because if you actually knew what you had to go through in order to reach your objective and fulfill your destiny, you would run screaming, you know. The truth is, people, that it requires constant will and constant intention to say yes, 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 because you cannot fix yourself, you cannot heal yourself, you cannot awaken yourself, you cannot open your own eyes and open your own ears. You can't really do that. Something else does it. Yes, your true self, but your true self is part of something greater. It belongs in a greater world. It's part of something bigger and greater, something that we do not see, but that is very, very real. It's where we originally came from as soul travelers, yeah? And it is from that place, perhaps, that we are initiated, we are touched, we are awoken. And that's when our journey begins. And our journey is about to become, I guess, a lot more intense, a lot more demanding, a lot more real. Yeah. I mean, this will mean different things for different soul travelers, there's no doubt about it. A lot of us are feeling this curious sensation, this curious kind of calm, this sense that tells us that whatever appears to be happening and whatever ideas you might have about what's going to happen, like a complete financial crash, and all the terrible things that would engender, whoa. Food shortages, starvation, indiscriminate. I mean, that would mean, you know, for some people it's like, this is the end now, this is the end, and it's a complete and hostile takeover, forces of darkness, blah blah. But some of us, like I said, some of us are feeling this sense of stillness, this sense of, you know what? It's all going to be all right. But then the night before last, I started having what I called, the dark generator assault. Excuse me. This happens to me when, and I think this happens to other soul travelers as well, it's when our consciousness has become so clear and so potent. There are these moments where we're about to have a massive breakthrough up to another level, a new level of consciousness, a new level of perception, and bang, yeah, mad. So it literally was like an assault, like something was attacking me. And it can do that because of when there's any kind of shadow left within us, trauma, woundedness, programming, assaulted, it uses that, it latches onto that. If that wasn't there, it wouldn't have any power. Darkness, evil, would not have any power over us whatsoever. which is why it's so essential that we keep doing the work and that we keep committing ourselves to doing that work. But like I said, it was really hard going, and so yesterday I've been, well, and this morning as well, I've been feeling really, truly horrendous. It's that sense that, you know, no matter what you do, no matter what you have done, no matter what you are doing, no matter what you will do, it will never ever make any difference, because evil always wins. You're all trapped here forever, and you're powerless, and you're worthless, and evil is just playing a game with you, and it's allowing you to think that you're getting somewhere, only to slap you down at the end of it and say, "Ha, you really didn't think you were going to get somewhere, did you?" Bit like Dark City, you know, that film, where he goes through the Great Awakening and he finds out everything, and he finds out what it's all about and who's behind it and why, and then discovers that at the end of it that there is no escape, because he's actually on a fucking craft flying through space, so he can't get off it. I mean, they do these films on purpose because it engenders, when we watch these films, it engenders within our consciousness a sense of despair, you know. Because when we are in a state of despair, when we are in a state of believing that we are powerless and worthless and that we hate ourselves and that we're shit and that, you know, evil always wins, and that we hate this whole experience. We hate ourselves then because we hate the experience. Because how can you love somebody or something that is perpetually victimized, perpetually demolished, perpetually destroyed, perpetually under attack, perpetually weakened, sick, defeated? You can't love someone or something like that. You hate that. Because that is something that is, well, frankly, that is an abomination. And this evil wants us to think that. It wants us to think that it created this entire realm, that it created us. But that is a fucking lie, people. Because if you look at yourself in a mirror, for some people that's a very difficult thing to do, to actually grab a mirror and sit in a silent place and to really look yourself straight in the eye, say nothing, just look. And watch what comes up within you. What do you feel? That will tell you shitloads about where you're at. I can look at myself in the mirror and I'm comfortable with that, mostly. Yeah, I see that I'm growing old. That disturbs me because I know that, of course, growing old is not of the light. It's an abomination. It's a disease. I can see lots of things, you know, that, yes, I'm not happy about, that I'm not happy with, and that hurt me. And then I feel that horrible, thick, black, oily sense of self-attack, self-hatred. That says, well, you're worthless, because otherwise you would not be growing old. You're worthless, otherwise you wouldn't have this problem or that problem. You know? You wouldn't be sick, you wouldn't have this chronic illness. You're worthless because you're powerless to do anything about it. So this is how it's always going to be. You're never going to get well, you're only going to get sicker and sicker and sicker. Life won't be worth living, you should kill yourself. And then it gets, when you're going through a purge, so the dark generator attacks, and how exactly that happens or where the dark generator emanates from, I do not know, but I think that it uses electromagnetic energy. So hence smart meters, hence cell phone towers, all this type of stuff is how it perpetuates itself throughout this realm. The jinn love electromagnetic currents. Evil simply loves electromagnetism. It really, really does. As a conveyance. You know. So I'm sorry, I'm a bit rambly today, and I'm very tired because I have not been sleeping well at all. So, and like I said, I've really been under attack from, say, the dark generator. It's been absolutely horrendous, and wow. Every time it happens, though, it's a purge. Every time it happens, I break through to another level. That's nice. There's just, because I had a dream in the night, and there was a truck collecting dirt, you know, like how it comes around and it takes your rubbish away. And on the side of it, it said, "My mean." And that was amazing. And I woke up, and the "my mean," as in being mean, being nasty to yourself, being my self-hate. And it was all being loaded into this truck, and this truck was leaving. It was taking it away. And just now, a truck went by which collects the rubbish from here, and it says, "Giving new resources, giving new life." So I'll take that. I'll run with that, because yes, it's very hard. This is it. When it gets really, really hard, is when you've suffered so much, when you've been through so much shit that it's beyond belief and impossible to put into words. When, you know, when you have one health problem after another, and you thought that in the awakening and through the purging and through the processing of your trauma, your programming, your insanity, that things would start to gradually get better, only that doesn't happen. Things actually get fucking worse. That's when you start thinking, what the fuck is going on here? Why is this happening? I'm doing all this work. I'm doing all the work, and I'm just at it 24/7. I go within me. I'm completely committed, completely and utterly committed, and I do the work, and I look at it all, and yet things just go from bad to fucking worse. Why? And that's what I've been going through these last few days, because it's like, well, that's proof that you're just being had. That's proof that this isn't going anywhere. This is a carrot on a stick, or a wild goose chase, or being led up the garden path. There's a shitload of you know, of little ditties that you could use for this, you know, as an example. And it's very, very difficult. Yes. So that's something that I'm kind of, yeah, feeling, along with all this and just rage, and it's all there. All the same old stuff. You know, we know it's like peeling an onion, right? Same old. But deeper and deeper and deeper. So I feel, and I could be completely wrong here, but I feel that for the journey to continue all the way, for this circle to be completed all the way to its inception point, the end and the beginning, right? For that to happen, if at any given moment within that, on that journey, things were to start getting better, you would start feeling better, because you'd be there thinking, oh, it's finally working, so I feel a lot better now. That would then stop it. The impetus would be gone, you see? The triggers have to be. The triggers are here, the catalysts are here, and it means going through shit. It means these things happening that make you doubt, that make you despair, giving resources new life, that make you think that, hey, this is proof that evil is all powerful. Because some of it is so incredibly difficult to bear. There is so much pain, physical ailments, mental health problems, breakdowns, you know, serious mental health issues, mental health breakdowns, insanity, overwhelming hate and rage, you know, grief, and you know, people, all kinds of horrible problems, people. It's true, and I know this because I'm going through it myself, so I'm totally with you. You know, I know some of you, my subscribers, you're really been through it, really have been through it, like me. Yeah. The reason that I'm still going, the reason is that I look on the inner planes. I think, okay, so, right, now, if it were true that evil is all-powerful, if that were true, I think, we'd be living in a much darker scenario even. There wouldn't be any sunlight left, there wouldn't be any beautiful animals, and on the inner planes, our inner evolution, transcendence, nothing would happen. We would just be stagnant, we wouldn't really get anywhere. We'd just be, you know, on the same sort of level, stagnating, or just as toxic and selfish and fucked up as ever. But we're not, you see. We're not. I think about how I was even a year ago, and boy, I've changed. I come across people from my past, so then I'm reminded of how I was like when I was associating with that person, like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever. And it's like, wow, I was a real mess then. I was a terrible mess. I was so traumatized, my God, it was unbelievable, and I wasn't able to function at all. And look at me now. It's true that our victories are very hard won. Very hard won. This is true. Because this world, this realm, is a realm of obstruction. We are obstructed every inch of the way, and this is reflected even in the sense of, you know, you try and go out there in order to do something, to get something done, to get something fixed. You'll find that it's difficult, increasingly so now. Back in the days things were a lot easier, but now, because of what's happening, these timeline wars, these frequency wars that are going on right now, everything evil is making everything very difficult. So tech never works, so that's really obstructionist. And then, something breaks in your car and you have to get it fixed, and you take it and it's like, we haven't got the part, and we're going to try and get the part, and I get the part and I can't get it, and it's like that, you know. Or there you are and you're making yourself a cup of tea, for some reason the kettle just keels over and breaks. I have a glass kettle and it just breaks. Something, it's always something. It's obstructionist. There are fucking stoplights that never fucking work. There's always roadworks going on everywhere. Last year was like that. It was like there were roadworks fucking going on everywhere. No, you can't go here, and you can't go there, and you can't go there, and all obstructionists, stopping people from going where they want to go, impeding, stopping, manipulating, you know, misleading, you know, and that's what this realm is. So everything that we have gained, we know damn well we have worked very fucking hard for, because that is the nature of this realm. Obstructionism, you know. Now, I think it makes sense, because ultimately that which we seek, well, not all of us seek it, we all have different ideas about what it is we want, that's fine. But for me, that which I seek can only come from a cleansed, from a clear and ergo a powerful consciousness, a consciousness which is whole, completely whole. It cannot come from a consciousness that is still infected with any kind of wetiko. You see, these parasites have got to be gone. They have to be gone. It cannot be an infected consciousness that brings forth reset. We're not meant to be sick. We're not meant to grow old. No, just a minute, guys. You know, we're not meant to live these short, stunted, beast of burden little lives, violated at every turn by the ruling elite, so-called. They're not elite at all, you know, they're just little minions, that's all they are, you know. Back in the day, we had the Kapos in Auschwitz and Mauthausen and Dachau. We had these Jewish people that would rip the gold teeth out of their fellow Jewish inmates and shave their hair off and tattoo the number on their arms, so that they might live a little longer, so that they would not be sent to the gas chambers, right? Oh, but I'm useful to the Nazis. Well, the whole story of World War II is not what we're given to believe it is. Okay, I'm on board with that, actually, more and more. But just as an example, I couldn't really think of anything else. That is what the elites are, you see, they're just minions, they're nobodies. The way I see it, they still grow old. Most of them are ugly as sin. Clearly being evil does nothing for your looks. They're nobodies. It is what lies behind them. It is who or what they take their orders from. That which funnels itself through them because it has trouble staying in this realm. That I've noticed. It's like these men in black. They just don't seem to be able to function here. They don't know how to pick up a spoon and eat their soup. They try and eat soup with a fork or something. They don't know how to navigate here. They don't understand this realm. They're not of this realm, but they have invaded it like a parasite through these elites, so-called. They're not, obviously, but yeah. Now, our consciousness is potent, is powerful, but it is infected, and so it needs to be cleared. And I think that is why physical healing, or the healing of our life, or things working out now, would not serve our destiny. It would not serve the purpose of our fulfillment of the quest, as it were. It just wouldn't, because we would start to feel optimistic and happy. And you know, it would lose impetus, you see. We need to still, there has to be an open passage to all that trauma and that programming that still lies within us, that needs to be purged out, that needs to be healed. And that's going to take time, I think. Not hopefully much longer for some of us, because, you know, it's been a long time, and we are finally reaching a level where we are beginning, as it were, to experience our consciousness potency. Yes. But then we still have these moments like I'm having, of extreme darkness, extreme assault. No doubt about that. But it will serve its purpose. I will not let it win. You know? But yeah, whoa, it's in there. Oh, you know, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen. All the worst case scenarios, horror story after horror story after horror story, you know? Jolts of anxiety and fear going through your body, literally. It's fucking horrendous, man. And the rage you feel when you're being assaulted like that, you want at it, right? You want to be able to grab it by the neck, and you want to just rip it apart for what it's doing to you. But you cannot, you see, because you don't know where it is, or who it is, or from whence it comes. And it's in your own mind. It's like it uses your own mind against you. So it's a truly complex, insidious, nasty thing. It really, really is, people. But I think that we will gain more clarity on exactly how that is, or what that is. I think we will. And it's very much, it ties in actually in exactly what is happening now. Because this so-called pandemic, which it isn't, is an onslaught of the dark side. It's an onslaught, it's an assault, it's a violation. And I know what it is Dave wants, pretty much, because I've seen it. And I also know it's not going to happen, and I don't know how I know it. And one could say, well, Nika, you're just being really silly now. Behind the scenes there are things going on that we do know not anything of. We just don't. You know, we... how could we know, right? We couldn't possibly. Now, this whole QAnon thing and whatnot, may well be an element of truth to that. But if you listen carefully to the people who espouse that story, as it were, you'll soon realize that these are people that are firmly tethered, as it were, to the mundane reality story. They are. It's like it's an element of the military-industrial complex, you know, the white hats. Well, one thing I do know, coppers, this happens all the time, you know, you get these coppers and they go undercover within various unsavory elements, as it were, of society. And they go undercover. They often end up, well, becoming corrupted. So the idea of white hats is in people that have that are situated within the military-industrial complex or within the child trafficking, satanic elite, whatever. I mean, how could you be there and yet stay in the light when you have to do things that will go against everything you believe in? Because if you don't do that, they'll know that you're a plant. So that wouldn't work, in my humble opinion. It just wouldn't work. It's odd, and something about it doesn't quite, you know, it doesn't make sense. If you critically analyse it, really analyse it, and really think clearly and critically, you realise it doesn't make sense. However, something tells me, and this I do feel very clearly, that in the whole big scheme of things, in this realm, regardless of how much darkness is here, there is always light as well. This is the law of nature in this realm. It cannot be any other way. But of course it's a matter of proportion, right? Sometimes the yang, being black as it were, is very, very big, and the yin is only a tiny, 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 tiny dot. I think that's sort of where we are at now. Yes, there is light, but it seems very feeble. And that's why a lot of people, you know, like cringe when you mention the word love. Love, love. They go, love, they don't even understand what it means. They think love is I don't know, Valentine's Day or some roses and a box of chocolate, something. No. You think about a mother bear protecting her baby cub. You think about what a really good, loving mother would do for her children. How fiercely protective she is. You think about something like Kali. You think about that love is a very fierce thing, you know. Love is very, very fierce. Love does not fuck about and mess about in any way, shape or form. Love is truth. Love is pure. Love knows all. Love sees all. but love knows that evil is a sickness that needs to be healed. So no amount of hate or rage or judgment or vengeance will help this situation. It never has and it never will, people. We have had many revolutions. We have had fucking the death penalty. We have had vengeance. We have had justice, the justice system. We've had, and it all corrupts and it all falls flat on its face because it's all, it feeds into it, you know? Oh boy, people, we are really being challenged to the very core of our being here, you know? I can feel it. This is, like I said in my last video, our finest hour. Your finest hour is where there's a part of you that sincerely feels it's over. You have fought the good fight, but you have lost. That's what you feel. I feel that right now. And there's a part of me that really feels that. Because it's like, well, you know, look at the state of your body. There's not a health problem that just emerged, literally, almost like Mandela effect style. Is fucking nuts. It's like I'm carrying a basket on my back, which had loads of really heavy stones, right, in it. Each stone representing a problem, physical or just in the general way of life, circumstantial, material, physical. Right, not a stone, another stone. And it's as if another stone keeps being added. Oh, let's put another one in there and another one. And I'm doing all the work and I'm doing all the work and I'm doing the fucking work. Wow. But the stones keep being added. And I think a lot of you feel that way right now. That's the sense I get. And it's such a... And it's the rage that you feel like that. Of course you would. That is your finest hour. And because all that's going on, and then you see what's happening in the world and you're thinking, what the motherfuck, what? Because you know it's a fucking lie. And then you tune in and you see these people that are just stupidly, oh, I'm following, and if you don't like President Trump, then you're against us, and wow. And if you you know, I don't, well, anyway, like, Luke, what? So you're surrounded by people that don't seem to be able to think clearly at all. No. A lot of us feel very alone right now because more than ever, and it's all really being put to the test here, and it's all becoming more obvious what's really going on. I mean, as in, a lot of people we thought were awake are all of a sudden just like, no, not at all, no. Because they were just all believing that there is actually a pandemic going on, yeah. They're like, oh, it's all real and it's all true, and you know, no. That's insane, it's insane. But that's why it's our finest hour, people. You see? Because we have two choices. We can either believe it all and think, well, yeah, we are doomed. Evil's won. And that's it. Because look at the state of my body, and, you know, more stones are being added to the basket on my back. And it's a crippling weight, and I can't take anymore, and I'm fed up with this fucking shit! Oh, dear. And then we have a choice to make. Yeah. Then we choose to either believe that, you know, that's the truth, we're doomed, evil's won, and we're just all worthless pieces of shit anyway, and it's all shit, blah, 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 blah. Or we say, right, and this takes great strength of will, and we say, no, I'm not doing that. I will transcend this. I will love myself, for I am valuable. And I will love this world, not the evil, not the distortion, not the abomination of it, but the true pure souls that live throughout the field. We cannot change the world, but our world will change forever, and this more than ever now rings true to me, because all this crap about, well, you know, the military, there's white hats in the military industrial complex who are going to save us all. There may be an element of truth in that, because like I said before, there is light in this world. There are, for all the evil secret societies and all the evil psychopaths doing terrible, horrific things, there are people, there are probably light secret societies. There are people fighting the good fight. No doubt about that. I do feel that, and there is some sort of thing going on with regards to that. I feel that as well. It is not what it appears to be, but this goes way beyond mundane reality, people. And you know, after everything that we've been through, we don't want to live in mundane reality. We don't want things to either go back to kind of how they were before. Oh, but we'll have to have austerity because, you know, the stock market has crashed and there's food scarcity and you can't get your meds. You know, like all that type of horrible shit. So like where life just becomes a really long drawn out struggle for what we don't want that, man. No. You know, if the shit's gonna hit the fan, then I say, well, fucking let it. Because I said this in my last video, that, you know, it's when your computer goes blank, it's when the TV goes off, it's when there's no more entertainment, and you can't go and get that pair of Jimmy Choos, and you can't get your ganj, and you can't eat and eat and eat and comfort eat to make it all go away. It's when the distractions literally are just gone, poof, that you're left having to face all the demons, all the trauma, all the programming, all the insanity, all the wetiko. Boom. It can't be denied then. You can't get your daily newspaper anymore. I mean, it's a difficult one, isn't it, people? I do know this. I mean, I've tuned into, there's various sort of like mainstream media outlets across YouTube, like DW I think is one, RT is one. Some really good comments left below RT videos, really good pithy fucking comments of people that are on the ball. Yeah, there's sort of mundane reality, you know, they're not actually mystics or anything, but they are kind of like getting what's what and brilliant. But yeah, I've just sort of cast my net and I see they look haggard, they look oppressed, they do not look happy. Now I'd expect them to look happy if their masters were triumphantly, you know, parading through the world, having won, and all forces of light were extinguished and evil had finally won and everything is won. Oh yeah. They don't look that way. That's it. You know, it's I don't know. Yeah, a lot of these people aren't even real. They're bots, yeah? They're not human. It was interesting because I was watching an episode of Star Trek Voyager yesterday and something really strange happened. The eye, Captain Janeway, her left eye just went all... It looked strange. It was like, you know, when you got oil on a puddle in the road and you got all these different shimmery colours like a rainbow. It looked like that. It was very strange. And the whole rest of the picture was just fine. It was just in her eye. Plus, a friend of mine, he is a gardener and he has done the garden for this widow like maybe 3-4 times. And obviously met her face to face as she pays him and whatnot. Went to do her garden the other day. And there's this woman there, and she was just giving him this look as he walked into the garden, and he's thinking, who are you, and why are you here, and why are you looking at me like that? And it turns out that that's the woman he's been doing the garden for, only she looks completely different. She's like a different person. What the fuck? Nothing in this place is what it appears to be, people. You know, you just look at the Mandela effect and don't believe all the hype. Be wary, be careful, right? Just look at your own life and your own experiences. They're always the best because They're yours. But come on, nah. This is an illusion created by I believe consciousness. I can't prove that. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I think it is. And I think our consciousness is infected with a parasite, and that has to be cleared out. So yes, we're still suffering, more so now than ever before, because we have not a clue really what's going on. And we're being told a shitload of different things by a shitload of different people. But if you really trust yourself, really trust your intuition, and you read the energy signals coming from said people, you'll soon realize that something isn't quite right. But if you listen to your intuition, ask yourself, what's really going on here? What do I really feel? Then at the very center of your being you have a sense of stillness, a sense of peace, and a sense of power. That says that despite the tornadoes of fear, of panic, of confusion, the shadow, the vertigo, the what the fuck is happening to my body, what the fuck is happening in my world, what the fuck is happening, that despite all of that, yeah, you know, this is going through the eye of the needle, and it is our finest hour, people. It will be all right. It's the hardest thing to believe that. It's the hardest thing, isn't it? That it will be all right. We want a shitload more for it than for it to just be all right. Wow, now see, that's a bit of normality. And that idiot with that stupid bloody music blaring out every fucking day, yeah, at the same time. Shut up. Oh dear, oh dear. Madness. Fucking madness. Even now, we have the catch-22. Oh, we do the same thing over and over again, but we'll expect different results, people. And here we are, the soul travelers, realizing that it's got to be something different every time. It's got to be a different approach, a different perception, a different angle, a different nuance. We have to be fluid, people. And we are. You see, that's the thing. True consciousness is fluid. True consciousness is not it's not stuck. It's always able, like water or like air, to find a way around, to find a way through, underneath, above, whatever. You know, every time we're faced with a problem, which is every fucking day and every minute of every fucking day, we're faced with some sort of obstruction, with some sort of abomination, some sort of fucking problem, with some sort of trauma. We know how to meet it. It may not seem that way, and it might take us a little time, but we do. And we do progress. Because our consciousness has changed. We are not what we were 6 months ago, what we were a year ago, what we were 10 years ago. So when that shit happens, when that dark generator comes, which is very much what's happening in the world, this is a dark generator telling everything and everyone that, oh, you're doomed, look at what we're doing, we can have you all locked down, you know, we can have you all stuck at home, not able to go out, yeah, and we're going to infect you all with this fucking, you know, this vaccination, you know, so blah blah blah. And it's interesting because I did say this because I had an image in my head, because I saw this needle. It was like an old-time fashioned needle, you know, with the metal, where the doctor puts his true fingers through, and it had a little bot, like a tiny little microchip in it. And that was a while ago, and I thought, shit. Another day, you see, and yet, no. You'd think, yeah, but if we were powerful, then we'd be out there with our weapons, we'd be fighting them. You see, now that is not power. That isn't it. And that's why I don't have a great deal of faith in the so-called white hats in their military and lodged somehow within the system. How do you keep yourself pure when you're undercover in those types of scenarios? How do you do that when you have to do things that are a true abomination and therefore destroy and kill your soul? Because if you don't do that there, they're going to know that you're a plant. So how exactly do you keep yourself from being corrupted? I don't quite see that. Anyway, we cannot fight this war conventionally. It was never going to be that way, because that is what everybody out there is doing. That's what the NPCs do. Catch-22, right? And that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So what we are doing here is actually, though it seems very small, very weak, very ineffectual, it isn't. It's not. It's actually very effectual. And the fact that we haven't, I mean, yes, we want to transcend this bullshit of disease, of death, of slavery, of trauma. We want to transcend that, and we haven't transcended it yet. In fact, it seems to have just gotten a shitload worse. So that makes us doubt, and that is a major challenge. Just to get back to that again, like I said, I am a bit rambly today, guys, but I know you don't mind. That is a major fucking challenge, and that is why it is our finest hour, because if we can face that and yet remain standing in our fucking power, which is this, like, I'm not fucking giving in. I'm not giving in. I will stand here and I will love myself, and I will continue to love the light. I shall continue to love that which is of the light, which is pure, which is good, which is true, and that includes me. And that proves that evil is not all-powerful. Evil would never create somebody like you, or like me, or like that massive, beautiful, stunning oak tree outside your bedroom window. It wouldn't. It would never do that. Evil doesn't really create. It can mimic. It does that. It mimics. And it can manipulate, but it doesn't create people. Evil's not really creative. Evil's destructive, you see. Before the fall, we had light and we had dark, but it was in perpetual balance. It was perfection. It truly was amazing. The fall is where Vertigo ends. So don't ask me how the fall happens. I don't know. Maybe I was wearing very high heels and keeled over. I don't know. But the evil's like, all of a sudden there was a distortion. The balance became and that's what it is, the parasites. But it's all being cleared out, and evil does things. It's whatever it's doing right now, thinking that this is going to secure their victory. But you've got to ask yourself this as well. I thought, there's a lot of people say, well, I thought they were already in control of the world. Because to a large extent they are. If you think about it, people, how do we live our lives and how traumatized we are every inch of the way? Even people like Janice Barcelo is a lady on YouTube, talks about hospital births and how they traumatize babies. You know, she's great stuff there. It's all very true. Everything's there to suggest they've already got this world in a vice-like grip. Do you get what I'm saying? So that then makes this whole scenario a little bit odd in and of itself. And I really feel that something more is going on here. Some sort of light reset. I call it a light reset. So evil has often, I've noticed this, done shit that then somehow gets utilized by the light. It gets turned upside down. It's a very mysterious thing. Ultimately, I feel with all my being that the light, love, is far more powerful than evil. It really is. You know, it's all a bit of an illusion. There's all evil, and it's like the schoolyard bully. You know, that really big guy who's a bit overweight, who's got really bad skin, and and a really bad attitude, and he's always beating up on the little kids, and everybody's terrified of him. And then you get Ron Pitty, little boy, who kicks him in the balls, and he keels over, and he's there fucking screaming for his mummy, and all of a sudden all the kids go, oh, and nobody's afraid of him anymore, right? Because they all realise that it was all an illusion. Yes, he's very big, and he smells bad, and he seems really scary, but actually he's not. So it's such an illusion, but it's a very effective, very persuasive illusion, because we're very, very traumatized. It's done all this shit to us, you see, and it's made us treat ourselves really badly as well. That's another issue that we need to be very aware of. All the self-sabotage, the self-harm, and how we've covered all that up by, we need to be entertained, comfort eating, fags, drinking, taking drugs, self-medicating, anything, go shopping, retail therapy. All of that is about covering up. It's about distracting. And when all that's taken away, well, then you can't distract anymore, and there you are. And that would be very tough, and that's already beginning now, because people are being isolated, as it were, at home. You might be able to wander around your garden or go to the fucking supermarket, And that's about it, people. So it's already started. Use it, utilize it. Be brave, people, be brave. Stand your fucking ground and know that this is our finest hour. It is, it has to be. We will make it so. And I'll call it a day now, because otherwise, okay, all my love to you. All my love to you. We are, one way or another, in this together. Let's keep communicating. Any of you want to send me a friend request on Facebook, you're more than welcome to do so. Just leave me a comment and I will tell you what my Facebook name is and whatnot. And tell me what's going on in your necks of the woods. You see, because we may be scattered throughout this world as soul travelers, people, right? But we are powerfully connected somehow. I just know this. We are connected logistically somehow, and we are doing the work. When you are doing the work on yourself, going within, setting that intention every day, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that has a massive bearing on it all. It really does. It may not seem that way, because yes, you have to be triggered, you see, in order to heal. Yeah, if everything worked out perfectly now and everything was beautiful and happy, you would stop being triggered, and the shit, the sludge, the poison, the trauma would still sit there running your show. We can't have that. Alright, so bear with it, people. All my love to all of you. Bless you all. Mwah.